Above the Game is brought to you by Monster Meal, Animal Attraction, Premium Nutrition, Superior Results. Reveal by Tacticam, always be on the hunt. Tacticam, share your hunt. Scrape Fix, the powder of attraction.
So here we go, bow season 2020. I got a little bit later of a start this year than I would have liked to. I didn't really start hunting until almost November. The weather was really nice, so that held me at work. I really wanted to be in the deer stand, middle of October and get some pre-rut action. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. So moving on into rut, I finally hit the tree stands and we started getting some better pictures of deer on camera. And there was a couple in particular that I was after. The weather didn't quite cooperate the way we really wanted it to. It was hot, it was cold, it was windy, just back and forth and back and forth. The wind was brutal. But all in all, I ended up having a really close encounter one of the first nights I was out in the tree.
Well, it is Friday the 13th. We are down here in southern Iowa. That rut activity is ramping up big time right now. There's been a lot of big deer that have been killed here in the last few days. We got a south breeze this afternoon. I switched it up. I came to the north side of the farm tonight for this afternoon, and I got zipped last night on one of my favorite stands. Didn't see a single deer, which is kind of crazy for this time of year. But there is a hot doe in the area. The reveal cell cam was showing me that this morning. I had a pretty nice buck chasing a doe. They ran back and forth in front of the camera for about a half hour. So there is a hot doe in the area, so I had to get out here as fast as I could. And I've got a really good feeling about this, and we'll see if this old Friday the 13th will bring us some good luck. I couldn't get the camera on him in time, but there is a giant bobcat that just walked across this field. I was kind of getting excited because the squirrels down here just started going crazy, and I thought it sounded, I can't really tell, but I thought maybe there was something running down there. And I'm glassing down here, I'm looking, and I look out in the field, and there's a bobcat. He was the size of a coyote that just walked across the top of that ridge. I knew there was a big one in here, and I've watched him grow up for the last couple of years. And actually, right where he walked, I had him at about 10 feet behind me last year when I was muzzleloadering. He was sitting up on top of the terrace, just looking right down. I was right on the terrace, and he was just staring at me when I turned around. That cat is big.
So it was so windy this night that I couldn't hear anything off to my left, and it did not help at all that I've got a tree that's right next to me that still has every single leaf attached to it, and they're all dead. So with a 30-mile-an-hour wind, I've got all these leaves rustling right in my ear, and I can't hear anything off to my left side.
I didn't have a chance in the world.
Unfortunately, the area that I really wanted to focus on, the wind just wasn't right. So I switched my plan up, went to the other side of the farm, and got in a stand for a north wind.
Well, it's November 15th. Peak rut activity going on right now. I switched up my plan here a little bit. I moved to the opposite side of the farm, and we've got some really high wind gusts today. So I'm trying to hide, stay out of the wind, and this is this area that I'm in. I'm kind of down in a bowl, so it's pretty protected. And I've got a cedar thicket off to my, well, it's the west, off to my left side. I've got corn out in front of me. This cattle pasture back behind. This is a core area where these deer, they kind of, hunker down and huddle into with weather conditions like they are. So hopefully we can catch one of these big boys bumping a doe through here. Just trying to stay out of that wind.
So after an encounter with two potential shooter bucks, I knew that I had to be back in the stand first thing in the morning.
Well, it's November 16th. We got a really crisp, calm morning this morning. Temperature's down into about the mid-20s. Had a really good sit here last night. I got back out here first thing this morning. If nothing happens, I gotta move this stand. The stand is just not in the right spot. I'm gonna try to move this about 40 yards south, 50 yards south, and then hunt that for the rest of the afternoon. I'm crossing my fingers I can kill one, and then I can move the tree stand.
So the yearlings ended up wandering off, and I didn't have any action for quite a while. And as I sat there, I was actually contemplating moving this tree stand. I already had a tree picked out about 50 yards behind me, and that was a little bit closer to where those deer were at last night. So if I could get through the morning and not see anything, I was just going to get down, move the tree stand, climb back up the tree for the rest of the evening sit. But it didn't take long, and I heard footsteps. Got him. Got him. Oh yeah. Look at that. There he is. Man, what a buck. What a stud. I had a really awesome night last night in that same stand, and I actually think I saw this deer. It might have been a different 10 point. I haven't watched the footage yet. And there was another great big 8 behind him about an hour later, but he came in this morning, just read the script. Beautiful deer. What an awesome hunt. So this was just an awesome hunt. It was an awesome deer. And just like that, my tag is filled. There's no better feeling than wrapping a tag around an antler at the end of a hunt. So with that being said, we've got a little bit of a wait here until late season muzzleloader here in Iowa. I hope you stick around, but until then, hunt hard and hunt safe.